Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. Day 4 of the Beer Advent Calendar. For those that aren't familiar with it, the Beer Advent Calendar, it's basically 24 beers in a box behind every door. Same as when you were a child with a chocolate Advent Calendar, except for there's a beer. And these are all German beers, so far it's been all good beers. So day 4 is smack dab in the middle. Let's rip it off and see what we got. Now, I've been saying that the Beer Advent Calendar, there is a Facebook group, and I haven't been getting the same beers as everybody else. It seems like there's a couple varieties. And this must be a really good beer because I can't even get it out. So I'm curious. Actually, this is the same beer as many others have gotten. The last couple of days, it seems like I've been getting different beers. There seems like 90% of the people are getting the same beers, and then there's probably 10%. Seems like a lot in Canada and some down around Texas are getting different beers, but this is actually the same as what everybody else seems to be getting. And this is totally in German, so I have no idea what it is, but I will check the box. The box actually on the side has a list of all the beers. You don't know when you're getting them, but it tells you a little bit about each beer. But like I said, this is totally in German, so see if I can find a little bit of English. A little bit of English that says beer, 5.3% alcohol. And that's about it. So, looking on the side of the box, see what style we got here. So this was a Märzen Bavarian style. And a Märzen, I don't know the exact everything about it, but I believe it was the original Oktoberfest beer, or it's a current Oktoberfest beer. With that being said, I do have these cue cards, and they're from the Cicerone Institute, and the Cicerone Institute is where you get your certification to be a beer expert. Now I know there's probably a couple of them, but in North America, from my knowledge, this is the main one. So these are study cards. Basically, they're like little cue cards. They list various styles of beer and just a little bit about them. So we'll see if the Märzen is there. I'd be really surprised if it's not. Märzen, there you go. So now if I can find it. There's actually two sets I got here. Alright, so the Märzen, they say for color-wise, you're looking anywhere from gold to dark amber. Really low bitterness, they give it a 1 out of 5. For the alcohol level, they say it's normal to elevated, 5.8 to 6.3. This one's a little bit lower than that. And it says a malt balanced beer with about 0.5 to 1% more alcohol than German Mills or Munich Hells. Most examples show malt flavors of bread, toast, and bread crust. And for the history, Märzen, which actually means March, beers were once brewed for strong summer storage. In 1810, Märzen was used to celebrate the royal wedding that has become the modern-day Oktoberfest. Now, reading this, if I remember correctly, at the time, most beers were brewed in the winter months, because basically they couldn't brew them in the summer months because the beers would go bad because of the higher temperatures. So they were brewed in the winter. And back then, most people were farmers and the like, so that was their low time. So they actually had time to brew the beers. And my understanding, the Märzen, which was March, was brewed basically in March, and it was the end of the brewing season. So a lot of times it was basically whatever they had. So the Märzen from one farmhouse might be different than the Märzen from another. Basically, it was end of the beer. What do we got left? Let's brew some beer, and then the beer would be available during the harvest season in October. Alright, so I'm going to use my craft beer glass. Give it a quick cold water rinse as per usual. Crack it open, like I said, it should be about an amber color normally. And this is nowhere near, I wouldn't say it's amber, but it's a little bit darker than, say, the Hells that we had last night. Not a lot, but it is a little bit of color. What they said, I want to just see again what they said for the Märzen. Bear with me, folks. Once again, I just want to check the Märzen. If I can find it. I know they said something about amber, but I want to check it again. Vienna Lager. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't find it again. Oh, yeah, I'm looking in the wrong. Once again, folks, bear with me for a second. So for the color, they said gold to dark amber. So this is, I wouldn't say dark amber, but now that it's settling a bit, it's definitely not gold. It's more dark. Even on the foam, the head itself, you can see a little bit of darkness compared to, say, your Helles or your Pilsner type thing. Alright, so, aroma-wise. The only thing I'm really getting is a little bit of maltiness, and they actually mentioned that, slight maltiness. The big thing is, how does it taste? I'm actually surprised, because once again, I'm going to go back to my cards again. I should have just checked it out. Maltiness is what I'm getting. They say a malt balanced beer. So I am getting more malt than I would have expected from that. It's not bad, but it's not overwhelming. But you can definitely feel or taste the maltiness compared to, say, a Pilsner, or a Helles even. With that being said, it is more maltiness, but that also means you're getting a little bit more flavor as well. Your typical Helles, and from my experience, it's more, like I said, lagers are clean, crisp, and refreshing. This still fits the bill, but it's a little bit more complex than, say, a Helles or something. A little bit more complex flavor-wise. But it is tasty. Pretty easy drinking. Just say if you don't like the malt flavor, you might be a little bit iffy about it. I don't mind the malt flavor. It wouldn't be my go-to beer. Rating wise, out of 5, my system basically, 1's a drain pour, don't like it, can't finish it. A 2 is like, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I'll finish it. A 3 is a good beer. A 4 would be a very good beer, and a 5 would be the best beer ever. With that being said, I think for me this one's pretty straightforward. Would be a 3.0. Good beer, nothing wrong with it. But I don't think it's for me. It doesn't take it to the next level, and that's probably more the style of the beer than the beer itself. But, and I said before, there's no science behind this. It's just basically my own personal preference. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable giving it my 3.0. Basically, good beer. If you get a chance to check it out, by all means. A little bit more flavor than what I'm used to for a lot of German beers, like your Helles or your Pilsner. But it's definitely enjoyable. So here you go, folks, for the... I'm going to try to pronounce this now. Husarentrunk. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. So they call it they just say Mars in Bavarian style. And I'm going to zoom in before I go, just so you can see the can. And anybody out there is German speakers, by all means, make a comment, let me know exactly what it says. I don't have my phone, so I can't do my Google translation. So a little bit there up on the top. Zoom in a little bit more. There you go. And a little bit on the bottom there. There you go, folks. So once again, 3.0. Hopefully you can join me tomorrow. We'll hit the box again and see what we got. Until next year, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.